Hello, this is That Talking Podcast. I'm JJ Starr.
I'm Downtown Andy.
Welcome.
And welcome.
We're here to talk and bring some civil discourse to an otherwise discordant world.
Civil.
What's up? How you doing?
I'm really going to need to keep the rules in mind tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you going to be mean to me?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. Just
Well,
disclaimer,
that's good.
I'm in a mood and
You're in a dick mood?
I'm not in a dick mood, but I'm in a mood.
You're in a mood.
And
Nice.
very, very seldom am I just like ready and raring to go for an episode.
Okay.
But I this is something that needs to be civilly discussed.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
With me?
The whole world, the world at large,
Well, welcome,
needs
world.
to be more open to this conversation.
Okay.
So before we launch into it, let's get to them rules.
3 rules. Un, deux, trois. You want to do it in German?
Eins, zwei, drei.
I
Feel the rhythm. Feel the rhyme.
don't know if that's German. I took German.
You think it's Austrian?
It might be. Swiss is weird.
What?
Swiss has a lot of, there's Swiss German, Swiss French, and everything.
Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese. Swiss miss.
4 rounds of Swiss.
Okay. But 3 rules for the sake of civility. Here in our little bubble, we have no judgment, nothing personal, and don't be a dick.
I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to take any cheap shots, and I promise not to be a dick. However, my perspective on this topic may be construed by some as being a dick.
Why? Okay. But this has nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with you.
Okay.
So for the uninitiated, I just got home,
Yeah.
dropping my son off,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't want to tell JJ what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to
Didn't
be
say a
authentic
word.
and fresh. I
said hello and you just shook your head.
because I just it makes me angry and confused, and let's get into it.
All right, well, tell me what happened. I haven't seen you for a little while. I saw a picture of the boy handcuffed to a shopping cart, and that was the last I heard from
He's
you.
real excited about
So-
being a cop for Halloween.
I thought he was going to be a ninja.
Yeah, me too. But I told him last week, I'm like, you're gonna change your mind. I know it.
He's going to be Spider-Man again.
Probably.
You know it.
Well, no, because now he's got a Paw Patrol costume and handcuffs, and he's arresting the world.
Oh, boy.
Listen,
All right, well, at least someone is.
I love my kids. I really do.
I do, too.
Good. I love them so much that I feel compelled to be a good parent and be honest and be generous and, but a conversation took place tonight that really bothered me, and we're going to get into that tonight.
Okay.
So
I'm a little on edge, I'm not going to lie, because I have no
it
idea
has
what's
nothing
happened.
to do with
No, but I have no idea. I'm
We're
I'm ready for
the
it.
listeners in suspense.
You're keeping me in suspense.
So, as you know, but the other one, and I hate to out him like this, but the older boy is dating somebody. Okay. And this somebody wishes to be referred to as a he.
Okay.
A he, him,
Right.
boyfriend.
We knew that.
We did know that.
Yes.
Despite being biologically female. This is
Right.
a big hot button topic in the world and has been for a while.
Pronouns specifically?
Well, I mean, it's been a point of contention, in social media and the news and
It's been a point of contention for a long time.
that's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Now, I've said this on the podcast before. I have trans friends. Being trans is not the issue. What they want to be called or referred to, not the issue. My issue lies in purporting these practices to children. The younger boy is 7, almost 8.
Yeah.
And last week or the week before, I said to him, so-and-so is actually a girl, right? Okay. Now, for context, that wasn't the duration of the conversation.
Okay.
We talked and I explained to him that, listen, some people like to dress the opposite gender. Some people like to think of themselves as the opposite. Some people feel like they're the opposite gender. But in reality, biologically, that person is female.
Okay.
Because
I'm refraining from tangenting.
that's where the civil discourse comes in.
Yes, I'm letting you get it all out before I comment.
Because in my mind, telling him otherwise would be lying. That is my perspective, not fact. That is my perspective. Okay. I don't want to lie to my kids the same way I don't want to lie to anybody. And being 7, 8 years old, I feel like to say what everybody is wanting to say is detrimental to his upbringing. I think that it's not right and it's not fair to essentially lie. So again, we talked about this for a little bit. It wasn't just a cut and dry, so-and-so is a girl, that's it. But that's how he put it with his mother.
Well, yeah, because he's a child.
Right. And she was none too pleased about that.
Fair.
So I told her, I said, there was a lot more to that story, but it didn't matter. She said, we're not having this conversation repeatedly.
You
we're
and
not
she.
Yeah. I said, I want to talk. Kids, go in the other room. I want to talk to your mother. And I explained exactly what I just explained to you. I said, I don't like this. I don't like the idea of lying to him. I don't like the idea of purporting a fallacy. This person can say that they're a boy all they want. We can refer to them as he, him, whatever. But the point I was trying to get across was, it's this today. What if it's something else tomorrow? Now, all she could see was, you're anti-trans. You're trying to tell this person is a boy. That's all he needs to know. That's not what I was saying. I tried my best to get this across to her, but she kept shutting me down. And I said, listen, it's not about the fact that this person is trans. They can do whatever they want. I'm not going to think any differently because of that. But my problem lies in lying to a 7-year-old. I don't like it. This is my son. I am just as much a parent as you are, and I don't want to lie to my son.
Okay.
Now, he can form his own opinion when he gets older, but at least for right now, I think it's imperative to be honest.
Now, you, of course, are you set for me to respond?
Let's go.
Okay. Now, in this conversation,
with him or her?
With him.
Okay.
With the 7-year-old.
Yeah.
Where you were trying to explain that his 16-year-old brother is in a relationship with a trans person.
Right.
You, of course, went into great detail about what that means.
No.
Okay. So what exactly did you say to a 7-year-old to explain the fact that his brother is dating someone who is transgender?
Why are you saying as if I did some sort of monumental harm to him?
I'm asking for more clarification. I'm not saying you did any kind of harm.
Okay, because that's how his mother put it.
No, I didn't say that.
Okay, I'm just letting
her
you.
Words,
civil,
her words
civil,
don't come out of my goddamn mouth.
Civil
means you know that your ex's words don't come out of my face.
I'm aware,
Thank
but what
you.
I'm saying to you is, she made me out to be some kind of monster like she's done in the past.
Well, yes,
because
she does that.
Because I tried to do right by my child.
Now, you tried to do right by your 7-year-old.
I explained to him what I said earlier, and that was, listen, this person, again, I don't want to use names. I don't want to, okay. I said, this person likes to be referred to as he. Your brother likes to refer to this person as he and boyfriend and, okay. That's their choice. Yes. However, realistically, this person is female.
Okay.
Because again, in my take on this is that I don't like the idea of purporting a fallacy to a child.
So why not tell him the whole truth?
Because he's not ready for the whole truth.
But then why tell him part of it?
Because when I told him that this person was a female, he did look confused. Because he's observed this person as a male most of the time.
Right.
And thought of this person as a male. And that bothers me.
But
that bothers me.
Why?
Again, I understand this conversation is going to upset some people, but I don't feel like anyone who would be upset by it is looking at the bigger picture. Okay. Again, has nothing to do with the trans issue.
Right.
They want to be the sex that they want to be. Okay. Who am I to stop them? That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's just like we've talked about when people are, exercising their freedoms, regardless of what it is or whatever, you're not going to force that shit on me. You're not going to tell me what to think, what to feel, what to believe, just like I'm not going to tell them what to think or feel or believe.
Okay. Keep it civil.
I am civil.
I'm right
Listen,
here.
Just because I'm raising my voice, I'm not mad at you, and I'm not mad at the trans people. I'm mad because I feel like I can't be honest with my child without stepping on somebody's toes, and that's not fair to me.
No, that is not fair. As a parent, you have the prerogative to impart certain knowledges of your choice.
Right.
You absolutely have that. My horse in this race, okay, is that as a step parent, if you were going to go tell your youngest, a 7-year-old, almost 8, but nonetheless, a small child, a young child, inexperienced of this kind of thing as of yet, right? If you're going to go so far as to tell him certain things about a situation like this, that is bound, I'm sorry, but bound to cause confusion, no matter what. It causes confusion in grown-ass people, okay?
That's unfortunate.
But it's true, okay? Not everybody understands. Because not everybody... Wait. But you had to have known that this would, to an extent, confuse him.
I'm well aware, yeah.
So in that confusion, how did you explain it to him?
Like I said...
You simply said...
I said, this person is actually female, but likes to be referred to as male, as a boy.
Because
that's their personal choice, and they're entitled to that.
Okay. Because they want to be a boy. They believe they are a boy. They feel like a boy.
See, this is...
They prefer... there are certain... I feel like there are certain steps that could have taken it and brought the confusion sort of to a close.
This is where it makes me incredibly angry. Because, again, I've got no problem with what they're doing in their...
I'm not suggesting you do.
But my issue lies in the lying.
But that's just it. It's not a lie if you explain it.
But it is an untruth. It is a fallacy.
It's not. If you were to say this person that you are introduced to as a boy, right? This person wants to be referred to with male pronouns, has chosen a name and everything, et cetera, et cetera. And the reason is because...
The reason is irrelevant.
But it could create less confusion in someone his age.
10, 20 years ago, did we go around saying, I'm a dog, I'm an elephant, I'm a bear, I'm a kitchen knife?
Don't make light of it.
I'm not making...
Because it is someone's truth.
Do you see a smile on my face? Do you see me making light of this? No. Okay, again, I am a bigger advocate for people's personal freedom than you think, or than anyone, anyone thinks.
I absolutely know that.
I draw the line at lying. I draw the line there because that leads to worse things. That leads to people making bad decisions and having bad thoughts, okay? Now, again, I don't know how many times I have to say this. People being trans is not the problem. They can dress how they want. They can identify how they want. And I'm not going to think any less. I've said on this podcast before, if I meet a trans person that plays guitar, I will sit there and talk to them about it for an hour. If I meet a trans person that plays card games, I will sit there and talk to them for an hour. But if you're going to tell my 7-year-old son that you are something that you're not, then I have a problem. That's like, you know how impersonating a cop is a crime? That's a chargeable offense. Impersonating an officer is a chargeable offense.
Yeah.
Okay? People do it all the time. Okay? Does that make it okay? If somebody believes themselves to be an officer, is that okay?
Yeah, but I mean, if I were to go up to a perfect stranger and say, I used to be a nun.
That's apples and oranges.
No, it's a bullshit lie and everything, but it causes no harm to anybody, and it's not a crime.
But there's conviction in this. There is conviction amongst trans people that they want everyone else at large to believe that they are a member of the opposite sex.
Okay. Pause that one for a second. How do you know that is the agenda at large?
What else? What are they fighting for then?
It's not about convincing anybody. It's not about convincing people, like, oh, you would never know that I was this gender and now I'm this one, or that I'm presenting as this one and everything. You don't know that that's the way that people are thinking. You don't. I would imagine more so to the point that they are simply trying to just feel more genuine to themselves. This is the way they're doing it. For the fact of the matter is that gender reassignment surgery has been around for decades. This is not a fad.
You know how we have age restrictions for a lot of things? You can't drive till you're 16. You can't smoke or vote until you're 18. You can't drink until you're 21.
Yes.
Okay? Personally, I think there should be an age restriction when it comes to this sort of thing.
I
not only what they're going to do with this aspect of their life, but who is going to be witness to this information.
I understand. And to an extent, I agree with you.
Like, you can't tell me that there aren't people under the age of 18 that are getting gender reassignment surgery in this country.
Now, this is what I was going to add my 2 cents to, is that, when it comes to the well-being of anyone who is still pubescent, like, there are doctors who will not perform cosmetic surgery on someone who is under the age of 18. Nose jobs, all right? Elective things of that nature and everything. I've known 16-year-old girls who have gotten boob jobs. It's like, your body isn't done growing yet. Hang on. But that's just
you have to allow me to respond at some point.
But you have to allow me to finish. I understand that there are young people, as young as who knows, right? Who feel dysmorphic about their bodies and their identities and things like that. And I absolutely believe that they should be readily able to seek counseling and to do this. But I have a problem when I hear about, teenagers and even preteens who are getting hormone blockers just to avoid going through puberty at all, so that their gender reassignment will be easier later in life. I don't necessarily agree with that. I believe that, counseling, absolutely. But I do believe that, you don't know. You don't necessarily know until you've gone through, all of it, and your body is normalizing itself. So that when you become an adult, you can make those informed decisions.
I had a conversation with a mutual friend of ours within the last couple of years, and we were talking about abortions in this country. And he tried to tell me that there was no doctors in this country performing late-term abortions. He goes, that's not a thing.
There are, unfortunately, doctors, I'm sure, who do.
I go, you can't be certain of that. Just like you can't be certain that there aren't doctors in this country that are performing underage gender reassignment surgery. Take abortion and gender reassignment surgery out of the equation.
Yeah.
Doctors in this country that are doing a myriad of things that shouldn't be done on anyone under the age of 18.
I mean,
without parents' consent.
Imagine some of the drugs that are being prescribed to kids, that it's not, that haven't been tested enough on children.
I'd like to finish.
Yes.
Okay. Because there are statistics and there are studies on the fact that in certain parts of the country, you know how we have doctor privilege?
Yes.
Doctor patient confidentiality? Mm-hmm. Okay. There are some schools that will have private conversations with students and omit the parents and say, this person is this age or, this or whatever. And we don't have,
Well, like a school nurse?
I don't know, nurse, guidance counselor, whoever. There are studies and there are stories about students who go past their parents to get certain things done, and the schools support them on this. And the schools, in some cases, have taken the kids away from the parents.
That, I feel like there are chunks of that story missing
Listen,
would make it more digestible for me, because that is. Not that I doubt.
Look, I don't
doubt the possibility.
I don't
but it's
have
just,
any specifics on hand.
Yeah.
We don't have. We're doing this off the cuff. Okay?
Right. I mean,
if I really wanted to drive the point home, I'd get the research and I'd put it out here for everybody to see.
Okay. And yes.
Now,
yes.
in regards to this specific circumstance,
Yes.
I was told, he didn't tell me directly, but I was told that the older boy was very upset at the fact that I even did this at all.
Okay.
He acts like nothing, like in front of me, doesn't say anything. So as far as I know, nothing's wrong. But I wish he had said something. I wish we had all sat down and talked about this together, because this is a big deal. Now, as far as they're concerned, and I quote, it's not a big deal, and we're not having this conversation because I'm ridiculous. Now, how do you think that, like, I'm sure they don't care how I feel, but I care how I feel, because this is an important thing. And again, he's also my son.
Yes.
Okay? And I'm not about to play into their fantasy just because they don't like my take on this.
Now, you are not, of course, taking the boy aside and being like, evil this and wrong that and everything.
Once.
Like,
one time.
You're not denouncing or berating anybody for this. You're trying to explain to an extent what the truth is, what's going on in this situation. And understandably so, because this person is around him.
Like, if they said if he made more of an effort to, I mean, I've already met this person.
Yes,
seems like a wonderful person. Mm-hmm. I'd love to spend more time and but they have their own life and they're doing their own things. They don't want to hang out with their parents, or maybe they only want to hang out with the mother. Who knows? But I'd love to, and I don't have to talk to this person about any of this stuff.
Right.
Because that's not what's important.
Right.
Okay. But again, that's what I was trying to drive home with their mother, because this is not the issue. The issue is what we are feeding our kid.
Right.
Okay. Because again, and she just didn't seem to grasp this. It's this today, but what if it's something more serious tomorrow?
Well, like what?
I don't know, but that's what I'm not okay with.
Like what? That you shouldn't be able to say things and tell him and explain things?
Yeah.
Without permission?
Either that.
No, that's not how it works.
Not that. But if we're going to convince him of something now that they don't seem to think is such a major issue, what if something else comes up in the future that we're just supposed to look the other way on? If it's not a trans issue, what if it's something else that is an unforeseen event right now? Okay? It could be anything.
I'm having a hard time hypothesizing what it could be.
But that's the point. Okay? He's still a child. If he gets to be, older and says, I want to do this with my life, or I want to do that, like, I haven't shunned the older boy for his life decision.
No.
Okay. When I first found out that, because like I initially thought that this person was a male transitioning to a female. So I figured, okay, he's gay. Like, and he's even told me, he's like, I've basically been this way since the beginning of high school.
Which is fine.
And I'm like, okay, not a problem. That's your decision. I still love you all the same. It's not what I would choose for myself, but,
you chose me.
I did. But, I don't love him any less. I don't want to see him any less. I want to see him more, in fact, but I think everybody is so blinded to my concern by the context of this issue. It's such a polarizing issue, and I can't say it enough. But that's not what people are thinking about. All they're thinking about is this person is so hateful, he can't accept reality. And the reality is I'm a woman trapped in a man's body, or vice versa. And it's like, that's not what I'm upset about.
I understand.
I want, if Henry is willing to accept that when he's older, that's his choice and he's free to do that. But at least for now, while his mind is still developing, okay, that's not fair. That's not fair to me. That's not fair to him. That's not fair to any kid who's under a certain age, who's finding these things out and doesn't know how to navigate this territory.
But I think even finding them out is difficult for someone his age to navigate. Obviously. I mean, if he was confused right off the bat, I can understand that this is something that to me, my prerogative from a parenting standpoint, and I am not either one of their parents, but I do have a parenting prerogative on things like this, is that I personally do not see the harm. I do not see the harm in either allowing the perception that his brother has a boyfriend. Okay, his brother has a boyfriend, and to a child, it may be easier to a child to allow the child to just believe. I don't believe that it's lying to him. That's my prerogative. But I also don't see the harm in completely explaining the truth. I don't see the harm in either one of those things. Now, if he were older, let's say he were like 13 at this point, I would absolutely encourage him to understand exactly what is going on, because I think that he would have enough of a grasp on, relationships and dynamics like that.
But 13 is a big difference from 8.
13 is a big difference from 8. I understand that. But my prerogative is I don't see the harm in saying your brother has a boyfriend. I don't see the harm in that. I do see where it will become confusing. Do I think that if he were to find out later in his, again, like 5-6 years from now, if he didn't know the reality of the situation right now at 8, if 5-6 years from now he were to learn the reality, I don't think he would feel lied to, but I could be wrong about that.
I'm going to do something here and now that I don't know if I've ever told you this, but I'm going to put it on the podcast because I'm not ashamed of anything.
Okay.
I'm going to put myself in Henry's shoes for the intents and purposes of this display.
Okay.
I am the youngest of 4 boys.
Right.
Okay. My mother was hoping for a girl the whole time.
She gave it a shot 4 times.
Mm-hmm. Said we were all going to give her granddaughters. Sorry, Mom. Mark did.
Well, yeah, she got 3 of them.
But for most of my life, I was told you were supposed to be a girl.
Right.
By her, by my brothers, just...
Were you supposed to be a girl? Or was it just hoping?
It was just hoping.
Okay.
But it never stopped.
Mm.
So imagine being a kid growing up hearing that all the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Especially when you're at those impressionable ages trying to navigate. Imagine going to school and your friends knowing that information, or people in your class knowing that information, and using it against you, among other things.
Okay.
Because I didn't have a very easy time in grade school.
Right.
Okay. Because I was not as effective at defending myself verbally. Okay. So again, imagine that you're a young kid and this is information that more people than should know. And you're having all these thoughts and you're having all these different feelings. I'd be lying if I said I didn't wrestle with that a little bit. Am I a girl? Was I supposed to be a girl? When all this trans stuff started coming into the news, am I just a woman trapped in a man's body? Like, the thought crossed my mind.
Okay.
And only after a lot of real deep thinking did I come to the conclusion, no, I am a straight man, always have been, always will be.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very unfair for anyone to try and tell me otherwise.
Do you think that would you consider that bullying?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And
even your family?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was funny. It was funny to them. They see, I don't talk about these things, so they don't know how it affected me.
Right.
And I'm sure, if they knew now, it wouldn't really make a difference. But again, putting myself in the shoes of my child.
Okay.
Now, if somebody came to me with this kind of, if somebody did to me what I did with Henry, I would be confused. I would be upset, just as I was upset with what I had been told.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a girl. I don't want to be a girl.
Okay.
And I don't want people turning that information into a joke.
And I think that's absolutely fair. Absolutely. 100%. When I was younger, you know, when we were young, I don't necessarily know that, you know, the idea of androgyny and gender fluidity has become so significant in youth culture today. I feel like when we were younger, you had tomboys rampant. You had girls who were very girly, girls specifically. You had girls who were very girly, and you had girls who were not girly, who often wore boys' clothes, did boy things, you know, sports, skateboarding, whatever it was, and everything. I was a tomboy. My sister was a tomboy.
You still are.
I still am. You know, but it never.
Oh shit! What does that say about me?
I've got giant honkers and you love them, okay? Trust me, it doesn't say anything about you. You've seen pictures of me in those awkward phases and you thought I was a boy.
That was a joke.
Well, it wasn't funny because
I apologize.
Because at that point in my life, I did not feel girly. I didn't feel like a boy. But like the idea of wearing like girly clothes and stuff, like dresses and stuff like that, was so uncomfortable to me because I was boxy, I was short and stubby and everything. And I was like, nothing about me feels like a girl, so I don't want to be girly. And I went out of my way to not, you know, like, not to try to be boyish. But I was just like, this is what I'm comfortable as. This is me. Take it or leave it. The fact that I have a boy's name. Oh, I do.
That's not a boy's name.
It is actually.
No.
Trust me. The spelling of my name is traditionally male.
That's your interpretation.
No. That is how it works.
That's not a rule.
It was.
It's not a rule.
Okay.
No, that was a societal, you know.
Yes, correct.
But not a rule.
Okay. So, you know, like it didn't help that, you know, like all of these things. I didn't really have anyone to talk to about these things. And I just sort of, you know, blended into the background and wanted to stay there, you know? I think it is more than admirable that it is so prevalent and welcome in today's youth culture to identify as what you feel genuinely. And if anything at all, wait. Let me just finish real quick. I think that it is very encouraging to have, you know, a community amidst your youth culture and everything so that you can make these choices for yourself. But it doesn't extend necessarily to children. Children are still in a bubble. They are still sheltered from these things because maybe they're not equipped to understand what it means. They're not equipped to necessarily question these truths that they've been, you know, that they've been told from the get-go.
Then then it shouldn't be forced upon them.
I agree with that. But I still think that the decision to sort of relay the realities of situations like that, I still think that it is something that parents need to be prepared to do.
I have no problem explaining it all to him in depth, but at the right time. 8 years old is not the right time. It's not. It's just not, because it's introducing him to this world that he's not ready for.
But do you see the possibility that simply by introducing the subject in the first place, exposing what you believe is a lie that he's facing, don't you think that the explanation sort of needs to come along with that now?
Because it doesn't, it's not going to sink into an 8-year-old's brain. 8-year-olds are thinking about, recess and lunch and shit. They're not thinking about, what gender am I going to be today? Or what gender is this? Like when we were at those impressionable stages, when we were in our formative years, there wasn't all of this, discussion around identity. If it was,
well, not at that age.
No, but like when we were, 15, 16 years old, our identities were rooted in what we liked, like how we dressed, where we shopped, who we hung out with, what our hobbies were. It had nothing to do with, what gender you were. Well, and we certainly weren't going around telling people like, I'm a girl. Like, I want to be referred to as Nancy.
I think that it's I think that it's a part of identity these days. It's something that is so talked about. It's so all over the place now. And especially with social media, everybody's got it. It's in everyone's face and everything. I feel like it's, it's sort of enmeshed itself into the very idea of personal identity.
I feel like it's a bandwagon too many of the wrong people jumped on.
I don't disagree with that. I've seen people jump on the bandwagon as quickly as jump off.
Like before Caitlyn Jenner, okay, it was just trannies, okay? You had men going out there dressing like women, doing like whatever, going to fucking strip clubs and cabarets and burlesque shows and stuff like that.
I remember when RuPaul got in trouble for using the word tranny.
But
like what?
I remember when the news broke about Caitlyn Jenner, I'm like, what the fuck? And everybody at my job at the time couldn't stop talking about it. I'm like, who the fuck cares? Okay, so he wants to get breast implants and get his dick chopped off and put on a wig and shit. Like, okay, fine. But he's not Caitlyn. He's Bruce Jenner. Like, okay, he's legally changing his name now. But again, it was one of those things at the time. I remember at the time, I'm like, I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to talk about it. I don't give a shit. It's not pertinent to my life. That like you couldn't give two shits about Bruce Jenner before this happened. Now all of a sudden he becomes a trans woman, and now you're interested in this Olympic athlete. Like
I had a problem with the buzz around it because it was one of those moments.
It opened the floodgates. Okay. It opened the floodgates because from 2014 onward, it wasn't trannies and it wasn't trannies' rights. It was transgender and transgender rights and gender fluidity. And you have to respect my pronouns. And it became a civil issue. And it's like, we have to stand up for our civil rights and civil liberties. And we need to be able to enjoy the same freedoms as all the straight, white, cis males out there. And it's just like,
okay.
This isn't a fucking crusade. No one's saying you can't have rights. No one's saying you can't get insurance. No one's saying you can't get married. No one's saying you can't get surgeries. But why are you picking this to be the hill you die on? Like,
everybody picked one. I think I feel like it started in like 2008, maybe even a little before that. I feel like everyone reached a point in their lives where like they needed a cause. They needed to pick a cause and they needed to die for it.
So fucking dumb.
That was the same thing that I had, again, I'm in 2008 when Obama got elected for the first time, I had such a big problem with everyone making such a big deal out of the fact that he was black. I'm like, who cares? The fact, it doesn't matter.
The black community
qualified is the only thing that we should be talking about.
That's a whole nother issue. Everything's a community now. The black community, the gay community, the trans community, the this community, the that community.
Well, they feel like they're
marginalized groups don't rally around each other just because they're a marginalized group. They don't. I don't go to my regularly straight cis white males meetings every Monday. Like, there's no such fucking thing.
Oh my God. Can you imagine though? It would be like the no ma'am from Married with Children.
No, because then we'd all get called Nazis.
You'd be the He-Man woman haters. You would be Spanky.
I'm already being called a Nazi in Facebook groups.
God. And this is all a part. It's all symptomatic of the greater problem,
which is,
and that is that
people don't have anything better to do.
Well, yeah, but like people need to make issue of everything. Not everything needs to be an issue. Not everything needs to be a battle. Not everything needs to be taken out of context and respun so that it makes someone angry. The fact is that there's nothing wrong with believing different things. We went over this last time. There's nothing wrong with believing different things. And if you believe different things, there's nothing goddamn wrong with voicing those opinions.
You know, I've felt incredibly isolated lately. Yeah. Because I look around and most of my friends aren't married.
Ew.
Don't have kids. No interest in having kids. Don't have full-time jobs. The ones that do, you know, I don't know. I don't find enough commonalities with the people in my life.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people in my life aren't, you know, striving for the same or similar goals as me. And, you know, like, it wasn't that led me to burning. I mean, you know what led me to burning bridges. It was people being, you know, disrespectful and rude to me.
Yes.
Our commonalities didn't matter anymore because it's like you're being a pretty mean person. And I don't have any room for that in my headspace. So you need to go. But I don't even know where to start looking. Like I've said this on the podcast a million times. I want to find the commonalities and enjoy those with other people. I want to not commiserate. I want to, I do enough of that. Like if there's a tranny out there that plays card games, send us a DM.
You know a trans person who plays cards.
Yeah, but she's a dick.
Is she a dick?
She's the one who said, I don't bite for that centrist shit.
Ew.
Because she was trying to convince me that all cops are bastards. And I'm like, you can't say that. No, they're all fascists. They're all Nazis. And I'm like, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. Doesn't matter that you're trans. You're a fucking douchebag.
Listen, I have a question for you.
Hit
okay?
me.
I have a question for you. And that question is, are you going to talk to the older boy about this?
Not unless he brings it up, because I don't want to upset him any more than I may have already done.
But don't you think that maybe, you know,
listen,
maybe this is something that you should do so that the air is clear and he doesn't get any ideas about, you know, he doesn't get any spin?
Listen, I put it out there all the time. I'm like, what are you doing tonight? What do you got? You guys want to do something? We don't hang out. We don't do anything anymore because his mother still largely controls what he does, where he goes and everything. He's not driving yet. And I'd love to take him and the boyfriend out, you know, and get to know this person and hang out and do
I thought we were going to go cruise the mall.
Do stuff they want to do. Like, but, you know, I've said to him before, I'm like, you know, I'd really like you to come to the door when I drop your brother off. I'd like to see you, you know, it'd be nice to get you away from your freaking command center with like 6 computers and 4 xylophones. Like, dude,
the place is bigger than it looks.
It's an exaggerate, you know, but like, I want to see him because I love the kid.
Yeah.
You know, I've been his father for 14 years now.
And as his father, you do, in fact, regardless of whether or not anyone wants to spin your beliefs or your opinions or anything like that, or your prerogatives, regardless of that, I know for a fact that you love that kid unconditionally.
I actually do have an answer for you because that last Sunday, when we did go to the mall, we were talking about this the entire time because at that point, I thought this person, like I said, was a male transitioning to a female.
Right.
So I figured it was a dude and they're into dick now. Like, I'm sorry to be so, but whatever. Anyway. And we were saying a lot of like, you know, blue collar things to each other. And it's just like, I'm like, I'm not fucking buying that for you. Like,
no.
You can imagine. Spencer gifts related type things. And but we're sitting there and we're talking, and I'm trying to understand him, and I'm trying to understand. Like, I'm like, okay, my son's gay, like, because that's how he was explaining it to me. Like,
did he say he was gay?
I don't know if he said gay or queer. I don't know. I don't remember what he said, but like he implied to me, or at least I got the presumption that he, liked guys.
I mean, he could change his mind at any minute.
Which is fine.
He could change his mind about God knows what and everything. And that could continue the rest of his life.
But the point is, and this is important for anybody who decided to stop listening 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
What's important is that I told him, I said, listen, your choices are your choices. I'm not going to love you any less. Mm-hmm. And I told him that to his face.
That's what unconditional love
is. Exactly.
That's what unconditional means.
I just told him, I'm like, dude, you're going to miss out on tits, though. He's like...
I mean, not necessarily.
And he said, he's like, yeah, I am going to miss that.
Listen, he can get tits. He can get tits and dick if he wants, okay? The boy's world is a cornucopia of all kinds of nonsense that he could be a part of. He's going to
listen to this and he's going to fucking hate me even more.
He doesn't hate you. I think it's important that you really drive home to him that it is unconditional love.
It is unconditional. It's always been unconditional.
Because I know in the back of my mind, in the bottom of my guts, that someone somewhere will eventually, if they haven't already, try to spin it so that you are a villain.
I know.
It's happened before.
I know. And I told him,
I know you enough to know that your prerogatives on your parenting strategies, your feelings about certain social issues, your feelings about identity issues, whatever and everything, they do not define your character individually.
I said to him, I go, has anybody given you shit for this, for being what you are? He goes, no. And I'm like, good. You tell me if they do, because I'll fucking kick their ass. And then he chuckled.
And because you're not giving him shit either.
No.
You're not giving either one of them shit. You simply wanted to insert yourself as a parent to the younger one. And it was a disagreeable point to his mother.
Because I guarantee that behind those closed doors, I was painted out to be the villain that they've always wanted.
But that's why I'm suggesting that you might want to talk to him. Because listen, and if you're listening, we love you.
He and I, we have heart-to-hearts all the time. Yeah. Okay? I can't control what's said about me outside of this house. I can't control what perceptions of me are made outside of this house.
I would like to think that he has a good enough head on his shoulders to know that you're never going to disapprove of him as a person.
It really hurt me that she didn't even want to hear it. I'm just like, I'm not trying to spin this. I'm not trying to be mean or impose anything on any of you. I would just like you to hear my concern and acknowledge that it's valid.
And that's just it, is that the conversation to her doesn't need to be opened because she already knows what you're going to say. She already knows what you're going to say, and you're a bad guy.
Except that side is supposed to be the tolerant and accepting one.
And it isn't. It's unfortunate. There's there's the great hypocrisy. There's a lot of backspin and bullshit and malarkey and horse feathers and all kinds of chicanery. Yeah. But that's just
you just use so many words that every listener is going to need a dictionary and a thesaurus for.
Ha. School is back in session.
I mean, chances are most of our listeners are going to need a dictionary to look up what thesaurus means.
I mean, the bottom line is that you did something in your prerogative as a parent, and you're right as a parent.
Amen.
You did what you felt was right. Now, this is always a point of contention with, single parent households. One parent might tell some kid this, the other parent might completely contradict it. The fact that she is not willing to have a conversation with you, and then you can team up in how to approach this now.
Which would make sense.
Is to me bad parenting.
And that's why and that's why I married you and not her.
Plain and simply bad parenting. You have to nut up, you have to suck it up, and you have to talk to this person about what you are going to do so that he doesn't get mixed messages, so he doesn't get any more confused than he might already be.
And that is largely why we are where we are, because, you know, everything between her and I is always well and good as long as I'm not challenging her on anything.
And I think...
must be nice to live that way.
I think
and to be able to get... Real quick, when I said to the kids, go in the other room, I want to talk to your mother in private.
Yeah.
And as soon as I start talking, she starts raising her voice as if this is not something that we should be quiet about. And I'm like, I don't want them to be present for that. Well, they should hear this.
Well, then bring them the fuck back out. What are they going to do? Bring them into the room and say, we're not talking about this.
Like, I don't feel like she has a grasp on what's appropriate and what's not, because it's just like, these are children. Like, if you want to sit them down and have a conversation where you're explaining this sort of thing, let's agree to do that then. But I mean, you know, I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
You know,
I said to the boy, the older one, the big one, I said to him, you're essentially an adult now. Your decisions are adult decisions. So make good choices. I said, make good choices. His health, happiness, and well-being, and I told you this, his health, happiness, and well-being are my only concern with regard to the partners he chooses, the path he chooses, whatever. I don't care. I wish he would read more, but other than that, nothing else matters. I do not care about anyone's identity, anyone's orientation. None of it fucking matters to me. I am the type of person who, if you tell me, excuse me, but I would prefer you call me this, the respect right off the bat says, sure, buddy.
Exactly.
I'll do exactly that. I have, and you have been present for it. Mm-hmm. I've been on the receiving end of the violent side of that, where how dare you, the hostility at, you know, you're not giving me the opportunity to adapt. You're not giving me the opportunity or the information I need. I'm sorry. If you spewed something to social media and I missed it, fire a goddamn text at me so I get it. Like, I'm sorry if I missed the message that you changed your name, that you changed your pronouns, that you identify, that you orient, whatever and everything. But you do not come at me with hostility, because I'm not doing anything I made an uninformed mistake. Yeah. My apologies are there, and I adapt. I change course and I adapt. And all of a sudden there's no need for it. But it's like, if you come at me with hostility, I'm just going to think you're an asshole. I'm not going to care about your orientation.
When people are having conversations pertaining about to trans people, okay, a lot of times, like you said, even grown adults are confused because your mind will initially go to gendering them the way they want to be gendered, but then you remember that they're not that gender actually, and then that's when people start saying she, like, whatever, like, you know, and then it's like, why are we here? Why are we at this point? Why is this a point of contention? You know, like,
it's that hill that hill someone wants to die on.
Why are they so much more interested in exercising hostility versus education?
I feel that it goes back to what I've said, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, the idea of needing the fight. Because I don't remember where I heard it, but I agreed with it. And I think I said it on the podcast that a lot of marginalized groups need to remain loud about their marginalization, because when you scream for equality, you stand out. When you get equality and you shut up about it,
complacent. Yeah.
where's the fight? All of a sudden, you're just another person.
Yeah.
You're not the center of attention anymore. You don't have, and the fight is so ingrained in that sense of identity that you will hold on to it, even at the cost of causing more drama than necessary.
So what you're saying is I need to be louder about a lot of things. Yeah, see, nobody wants that. Nobody wants that at all.
Everyone is already so goddamn loud. Everyone is already so goddamn loud. What I want...
And yet I'm over here trying to be quiet.
And I've said that that's just it. Equality is silent. Equality, when we stop talking about, the disparaging, the discrepancies between races, genders, sexual orientations, all of these things, it's like...
Then we're equal.
Then we're all equal. And we don't have to talk about it anymore.
So then maybe these marginalizations don't really want equality. If they're not...
I don't think all of them do.
If they're not interested in quieting down, then they must not be interested in what they pretend to preach about.
Yes.
And that's sad.
And that therein is where my ire gets up when I start thinking about people demanding equality. They don't want necessarily equality. They want special treatment. Special treatment is not equality. You want equality.
It's also not given, it's earned.
Exactly. And that's just it. And I feel like we've gotten off topic. But
no, this all ties into each other because earlier today, Henry comes up to me and he's like, can we go play tennis? I'm like, it wouldn't be right to play tennis without Jess. Jess likes it more than the two of us. Like, we you need to go ask her. And just like with everything else, he was hesitant because, he was afraid. He didn't think it would be well received. I don't know. He just didn't want to go alone. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, kid, but I'm not going to be there all the time. You have to learn to do things on your own. So I'm like, if you want it that badly, you have to go up there and you have to ask her yourself.
And he did.
Yeah.
Well, the first time,
yeah,
he balked. Okay,
well,
because
Sadie barked at him.
She barks at him all the time.
Right.
She barks all the time.
Well, yeah, because his voice hasn't dropped yet.
He flitted away,
right,
and then eventually snuck up on me. And said, can we go play tennis? And I said, it's really hot. And he said, you sure you want to play tennis in this heat? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, well, how about in a little while when it cools down? And then you went to Walmart for 4 hours.
Well, he needed a Halloween costume and there's candy on the kitchen counter. So, yeah. Took forever to find anything sour.
I guess everybody wants it.
There's nothing but chocolate up in that place.
Ain't nothing wrong with chocolate, baby.
I like sour. I got you your candy corn.
Oh, thank you.
I did.
Oh, we'll have a whole episode about that at some point, too.
This was a necessary talk.
I think so. I don't think, this is one of those talks that there is no solution to. There is no right or wrong answer. I think there's a lot of
there is a solution because, again, I am not trying to deny trans people anything that they want. They want to be...
But that's not the issue at hand. You can keep saying it till you're blue in the face. You've said it countless times this episode alone.
But that aspect will not be heard by some people. That aspect will be manipulated and twisted to make it look like I have an issue with trans people.
The issue that you and I have been discussing, the core of this conversation is... You made a choice as a parent.
Right.
And it has nothing to do with anything else. It's not about, because again, if it's not this, it could be something else. You could tell him that, that you could tell him that, you could tell him tomorrow that, those multivitamins that mommy gives you don't actually do anything for you.
Listen, I'm just saying this.
Maybe
right
we should
now.
Tell him that next
I'm
week.
saying this because of the encounter that I was just a part of before we started recording. Okay. That is what led to this because their mother spun it that way.
Yes.
And I had to try and reassure her a dozen times that was not the issue. And that I can't help but think that there won't be more people that'll react in that same manner.
I absolutely guarantee that there will be, no matter how many times you say it.
But see, I don't think a lot of those people are parents. I don't think a lot of those people have children whose well-being that they're concerned about.
I don't know. I think that, that's just it, is that the reason why she shut down the idea of having the conversation is because she, in her mind, knew exactly what you were going to say.
And she was wrong.
I just cracked like 9 vertebrae. Ow. But that's just it, is that everybody thinks they know where it's going to go, so they get the fight on. They get the fight up front so that they're ready to hit before they get hit.
Well,
and therein is where the civility is sucked out of the discourse.
Well, you and I,
and we spit it right back in.
Took a very broad leap to getting this, one of those hot button issues that people are afraid to talk about on the table.
We're doing a bunch of those this month. We're doing it. This is
because I've
said welcome to fall 2025, where we talk about hot button issues.
I've said in the past that we don't really discuss a lot of things that we disagree. Now, we may disagree on the manner in which I went about doing this.
Yes,
but we respect each other enough to say, like, okay. Maybe try it this way next time, or maybe do this a little bit differently. And we're not screaming each other's heads off.
No. And
y'all could learn a thing or two from this couple.
I do think that our next hot button issue will be candy corn. So get ready.
Disgusting crap.
Get ready.
I'm kidding.
Well, thank you out there in podcast land for tuning in. This was a good one. And again, this is another never-ending conversation, but we're gonna end it here anyway.
We'll have another never-ending story for you next week.
Candy corn. I'm gonna go get some of that. But thank you, yes, for tuning in. Please send us an email. You can hit us up on Instagram, DTAndy and JJ Star with 2 R's, or email us, DTAndy and JJ Star @gmail.com. Questions, comments, if you want to yell at us, fine. All are welcome, but we don't respond to disrespect, so be kind.
Seriously, any of you trannies out there,
stop it.
I'm telling you, I'm looking to start a new band.
Stop it.
We could be like,
my God, imagine.
It could be just like that. Who's
Andy
that?
and the Trannies.
Who's that?
You're gonna have to put
who's that guy that sings "Addicted to Love"? The one with the 3.
Robert Palmer.
Yeah, we could do a Robert Palmer thing where they all dress up exactly the same.
I think that you should get a bunch of your straight friends to do that, and we should dress them like the Robert Palmer girls.
No, because they won't do it.
That's a shame.
I need to go.
That's a shame. It's such a classic look, though. That wet red lip.
I need to go hit up RuPaul. RuPaul will know where to find him.
Please, baby. If you hit up RuPaul, you know that you give him my number.
How funny would it be?
My fucking hero.
If I got into like a Instagram friendship with RuPaul like I do with Ian Ziering. You'd be so mad.
I would be fuming.
I am going to go hit him up right now.
I would be absolutely
See, I can call in him.
Well, yes, because RuPaul is not trans. RuPaul is a gay man.
Confuse the hell out of me. Anyway.
So yes, Instagram, email, go to our website, ttppodcast.com, and it'll link to all of our streaming services, and give us a like on Podbean. PB.
No more BS.
And coming up very soon, when this episode airs, I think will be
not this coming Tuesday. Okay, so we're jumping the gun a little bit.
Yeah, so this will be 2 weeks. So 1 more week. Wow. October 3rd, 4th, and 5th is the New York Blood and Ink Convention. I'm so excited.
Okay, so this episode will be airing on the 30th.
Thank you.
Wait, no, the 23rd.
Yeah. All right. As I said, October 3rd,
Just cut
4th,
that part
and 5th.
out. Anyway.
October 3rd, 4th, and 5th is the New York Blood and Ink Convention. Love Hard Art will be there. Find Love Hard Art at on Instagram _Love Hard Art. Coat of Arms Tattoo. I don't believe my buddies are going to be there, but go check them out anyway on Instagram. And what the hell? Find Tax Collectors in Harlem.
Oh, gee, thanks. October 24th, we're at Dead Language Brewing for the Cabo Wrestling show.
Cabo Wrestling.
It's usually a big turnout. So
Dead Language Brewing in Hartford, right?
Yeah, if you guys show up, maybe I'll get in the ring.
Oh shit. And on that
I will battle the entire trans community in a 30-on-1 battle royale.
Battle royale. Well, I look forward to seeing that. And that's a full lid. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. From the three of us at That Talking Podcast, I'm JJ Star.
And I'm Downtown Andy.
We'll talk to you later.